Hello there, and welcome to Sleepy Wisdom Channel. Tonight, we'll be exploring the quiet truths of Stoicism, those ancient thoughts that have offered peace for over 2,000 years. Brief insights that appeared in the writings of philosophers who lived ordinary lives filled with struggle, loss, and noise, yet found something underneath all of it. People turn to these ideas when the world feels heavy, when control slips away, when they need to remember what actually matters. But behind that simple wisdom is a profound understanding of how minds work, how suffering forms, and the steady truth that peace is always available right now, regardless of circumstance. These thoughts are not commands or lessons. They are gentle observations woven into the daily rhythm of being human, happening whether anyone is teaching them or not. Some are subtle reminders, others clear and direct, but all of them point toward a way of living that asks less of you and gives more rest. In this video, we'll uncover how Stoic ideas actually work, where they truly lead, and why they've remained relevant through empires rising and falling, technologies transforming everything, and generations passing these truths forward like quiet gifts. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, there's nothing you need to do but relax. Let your eyes grow heavy and allow your body to soften. Let your shoulders drop and your breathing slow. Allow your mind to release its grip on the day as we explore these ancient paths to peace. The Stoics built their entire philosophy on a simple foundation, a distinction so clear that once you see it, everything else follows naturally. They asked one question over and over in different ways until it became second nature. What is actually within your control and what is not? This is where we start, with the core insight that changed how they lived and can change how you rest tonight. Some things are up to us, and other things are not. This simple observation sits at the heart of Stoic philosophy. There is a line that runs through everything you experience, dividing what falls within your control from what lies beyond it. On one side of the line, you find your thoughts, your responses, your intentions, your effort. These belong to you completely. On the other side, you find nearly everything else. Other people's opinions, the weather, the past, what happens next, how things turn out, the events that arrive uninvited. The Stoics noticed that peace lives on one side of this line. When you place your attention on what you can actually influence, there is rest. When you try to control what cannot be controlled, there is only struggle. This is not a moral teaching. It is an observation about how reality works. The wisdom is not in memorizing the categories. It is in noticing, moment by moment, where your energy is going. Gently bringing it back to your side of the line, to what you can touch, what you can shape. The peaceful truth is that your side of the line contains everything you need. What do you control? Only your thoughts and your actions. That is all. Not the results of your actions, but the actions themselves. Not what others think of your thoughts, but which thoughts you choose to nurture or release. Everything else lives outside this small circle. The outcome of your efforts, whether people approve, how the future unfolds, what others decide, whether you succeed by external measures. And here is what feels strange at first. This small circle is enough. It contains everything required for peace. You cannot control whether it rains, but you can control whether you bring an umbrella. You cannot control whether someone loves you, but you can control how you show up with honesty and kindness. You cannot control whether you get the job, but you can control the quality of your preparation. The Stoics spent their entire lives practicing this one distinction, returning to it like a home base whenever confusion arose. What is mine? What is not mine? The question, asked gently and without judgment, changes how you stand in the world. We suffer when we want to control what cannot be controlled. It is like trying to hold water in your fists. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it drains away. The struggle is not with the water. It is with the grip itself. When you insist that something outside your control should be different, you place yourself in opposition to reality. And reality does not negotiate. It simply continues as it is. This is where much of human suffering begins, not in the events themselves, but in the refusal to accept that they are happening. The Stoics saw this clearly. They noticed that pain often comes not from what occurred, but from the belief that it should not have occurred. The peace is not in changing the unchangeable. It is in releasing the demand, in opening your hands and letting the water flow, not because you approve of what is happening, but because fighting what already exists only adds struggle to difficulty. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote this in his private notes, reminding himself that the mind creates more pain than circumstances do. The human mind has a powerful ability to project forward, to imagine terrible outcomes, to rehearse conversations that never happen. It can take a single uncertain moment and expand it into a catastrophe. The future problem grows larger in thought than it ever becomes in fact. Most of what you worry about will not occur, and when difficult things do arrive, they are usually more manageable than the versions you imagined. This does not mean challenges are not real. It means that anticipating them, replaying them, and expanding them in your mind adds a second layer of suffering that is optional. The present moment, right now, is usually bearable. It is the imagined future, or the remembered past that carries the weight. Noticing this distinction does not solve every problem, but it does remove the extra burden you have been carrying without realizing it. External events are neutral. They carry no inherent meaning. A storm is not angry. A missed opportunity is not a punishment. A delay is not a message. Events simply occur, following patterns of cause and effect that have nothing to do with you personally. The meaning arrives only when you interpret what happened. You assign significance. You decide whether it is good or bad, fair or unfair, deserved or undeserved. The Stoics understood that this interpretive layer is where you have power. You cannot control the event. You can control what you make of it. This is not the same as pretending bad things are good. It is recognizing that even in difficulty, you are the one deciding what it means and how much weight it carries. That freedom exists in every moment. The event is what it is. The story you tell about it is yours to shape. Opinion causes suffering, not events. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. The same situation can feel unbearable to one person and manageable to another. The difference is not always in the circumstances. It is in the judgment placed on those circumstances. If you believe something terrible has happened, you will feel terrible. If you see the same event as neutral or even useful, the emotional response shifts. This does not mean all perspectives are equally valid or that you should dismiss real harm. It means that much of your suffering comes from optional interpretations. The thought that this should not be happening. The belief that you cannot handle it. The assumption that it means something worse is coming. These are judgments, not facts. Watching your thoughts without immediately believing all of them creates space. In that space, suffering loosens. Not because the situation has changed, but because your relationship to it has. You always have a choice in how you respond. Between what happens to you and how you act, there is a gap. It can be brief, but it is always there. In that gap lives your freedom. You cannot choose what arrives. You can choose what you do next. This is not always easy. The gap can feel so small that response seems automatic. But with practice, you begin to notice it. The moment before reaction. The pause where you can breathe, consider, and decide. Viktor Frankl, who survived unimaginable circumstances, wrote about this space between stimulus and response. He called it the last of human freedoms. No matter what is taken from you, no one can choose your response for you. The Stoics knew this centuries earlier. They built their entire philosophy on the quiet power of that pause. In that brief moment, you reclaim yourself. You stop being pushed by events and start shaping your own path. Acceptance is not resignation. There is a difference between accepting that something has happened and approving of it. Acceptance means acknowledging reality as it is. Resignation means giving up on what you can still influence. The Stoics were not passive. They acted with full effort on what they could control. But they did not waste energy denying what had already occurred or demanding that the past be different. Working with reality as it is creates clarity. When you stop arguing with what cannot be changed, you see more clearly what can be changed. Acceptance does not mean you stop caring or stop trying. It means you begin from where you actually are, not from where you wish you were. This is the foundation of wise action. You cannot build on a fantasy. You can only build on what is real and present. The present moment is all we have. The past exists only as memory. The future exists only as imagination. Right now is the only time that requires your attention, because it is the only time where anything can actually happen. This does not mean you should not plan or learn from experience. It means that when your mind is fully occupied with past regrets or future worries, you are absent from the only moment where you can act, feel, rest, or choose. The gentleness of this truth is often overlooked. You do not have to fix your entire life right now. You only have to be present for this moment. One breath, one choice, one small act of attention. The Stoics returned to this again and again. They reminded themselves that now is enough. It is not lacking. It is not waiting for improvement. It is the place where you are alive, and it is sufficient. Worry is interest paid on trouble before it is due. When you worry, you experience a problem twice. Once in imagination, where it may never occur, and again in reality, if it does. This creates a double burden. The imagined version often feels worse because it is vague and unconstrained. It can grow without limit. The real version, when it arrives, at least has edges. It can be addressed. The Stoics saw that most worry is misplaced effort. It does not prevent the problem. It does not prepare you in any useful way. It simply occupies your attention with something that is not happening. The release is available now, not by denying that difficulties exist, but by bringing attention back to what is actually in front of you. This moment does not contain the problem you are imagining. It contains only what it contains. Often, that is enough. We cannot control others' opinions. What other people think of you belongs to them completely. You can influence it through your actions, but you cannot control it. Even if you act with complete integrity, some will approve and some will not. Even if you try to please everyone, you will fail. The freedom comes when you stop needing their approval to feel at peace. The Stoics were clear about this. Other people's thoughts are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is your own character and effort. How others interpret that is outside your power. This does not mean you ignore feedback or act carelessly. It means you do not outsource your sense of worth to the shifting opinions of others. Peace lives in your own judgment of whether you acted well, not in the verdict of the crowd. External success is not up to us. You can control your effort, your focus, your preparation, your persistence. You cannot control the outcome. The job may go to someone else. The project may fail despite your best work. The recognition may not come. This is not because effort does not matter. It is because outcomes depend on many factors beyond your influence. The Stoics distinguished clearly between process and result. You own the process. You can refine it, commit to it, and find satisfaction in doing it well. The result is shared with the world, with chance, with forces you cannot see or predict. Resting in effort rather than results protects you from basing your peace on things you do not control. You did what you could. That is enough, regardless of what follows. The obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius wrote that impediments to action advance action, and that what stands in the path becomes the path. This is not just optimistic reframing. It is a recognition that resistance shapes you. When you encounter difficulty, you must adapt, think differently, try new approaches. That process builds capacity you would not develop otherwise. The obstacle is not in your way. It is your way forward. The challenge you face right now is not separate from your growth. It is the means of growth. You do not find the path by going around the difficulty. You find it by going through, using the obstacle itself as the material for progress. This does not make challenges pleasant, but it does make them useful. Nothing is wasted. Everything can teach. Nothing external can harm your character. Circumstances may test you, injure you, limit you, or take things from you. They cannot, however, touch what the Stoics called your inner citadel, your core self. Your ability to choose your response, your character, remains under your control. External events can reveal what you are made of, but they do not create or destroy it. This is one of the most powerful Stoic ideas. You are not fragile in the way you might think. The part of you that truly matters is not at the mercy of circumstance. It can only be given away by your own choices. No one can make you cruel, dishonest, or cowardly. Those are internal decisions. You may be pressured, but the final choice remains yours. That core is untouchable unless you abandon it. You are not your circumstances. There is a distinction between who you are and what is happening to you. The situation you find yourself in is temporary. It is changeable. It does not define you. Your job is not your identity. Your success or failure is not your worth. Your struggles are not your essence. These are experiences passing through, not permanent truths about you. The Stoics taught that you can watch your life from a still center. Circumstances swirl around you, shifting constantly, but you remain. That awareness, that capacity to observe and respond, is steady. It exists before circumstances arrive and will exist after they pass. Recognizing this separation allows you to engage with life without being consumed by it. You are the watcher, not only the watched, the actor, but also the audience, letting go of what you cannot hold. There are things you try to grasp that cannot be grasped. Certainty, permanence, control over others, guaranteed outcomes, the past as you wish it had been. Holding tightly to these creates strain. They slip through your fingers no matter how hard you try, because they were never solid to begin with. The natural release is not giving up. It is recognizing what was never yours to hold. It is opening your hands not in defeat, but in acceptance of reality. Water flows. You cannot hold it, but you can drink from it. Move with it. Let it pass. Rest comes not from gripping harder, but from relaxing the grip. This is non-attachment, and it brings a lightness that effort alone cannot create. Peace comes from within, not from without. External conditions shift endlessly. If your peace depends on circumstance being a certain way, it will be fragile and temporary. The weather changes. People change. Situations evolve in ways you cannot predict or prevent. Basing your calm on external stability is like building on sand. The Stoics taught that internal calm is the only reliable anchor. You build an inner refuge that does not depend on the world cooperating. This does not mean you become indifferent or stop caring. It means you locate your center somewhere circumstances cannot reach. From that place, you can engage with the world more fully because you are not constantly defending a peace that rests on fragile conditions. Your thoughts are visitors, not commands. The mind produces thoughts constantly. Some are useful. Some are not. Some are true. Some are distorted. The mistake is treating every thought as if it deserves belief and action. Thoughts arise on their own. You did not choose most of them. They appear, shaped by memory, habit, emotion, and pattern. Observing mental activity without immediately obeying it creates freedom. A thought suggests worry. You do not have to worry. A thought suggests judgment. You do not have to judge. The Stoics practiced this gentle distance. They watched their minds the way you might watch clouds moving, interesting, sometimes important, but not the same as reality itself. This space between thought and belief is where peace grows. Live according to nature. For the Stoics, this did not mean living in the wilderness or rejecting civilization. It meant aligning with the nature of reality and the nature of being human. Reality follows certain patterns: cause and effect, change, impermanence, interconnection. Living according to nature means accepting these patterns instead of fighting them. Human nature, they believed, is rational and social. You have the capacity for reason, which allows you to understand and respond thoughtfully. You are also built for connection, for cooperation, for community. Living according to nature means using reason well and treating others with care. It means flowing with what is natural rather than exhausting yourself, resisting what cannot be resisted. This is not passivity. It is alignment. Virtue is the only true good. External things come and go. Wealth can be lost. Health can fail. Reputation can shift. Relationships can end. None of these, the Stoics argued, are guaranteed to bring lasting peace because none are fully under your control. What remains is your character, how you treat others, whether you act with integrity, the qualities you cultivate within yourself. These are the only things that are genuinely yours and genuinely good. Everything else is what the Stoics called preferred indifference. Nice to have, but not essential to your well-being. The real wealth is who you are becoming. That is the only treasure no circumstance can take. Focusing on character instead of outcomes shifts where you place your attention and your hope. It brings you back to what you can actually shape. The 4 cardinal virtues guide without burdening. Wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance were the 4 pillars of Stoic ethics. They are not rigid rules, but orientations. Wisdom is knowing what matters, what to care about, and what to ignore. Justice is treating others fairly and recognizing your role in the larger community. Courage is acting despite fear, especially in small daily ways. Temperance is balance, moderation, and self-control without harshness. Each virtue offers a different kind of rest. Wisdom brings clarity. Justice brings right relationship. Courage brings quiet strength. Temperance brings harmony. Together, they form a framework that supports you without demanding perfection. They are directions to move toward, not destinations to reach. You do not master them. You practice them, and in practicing, you find peace. Wisdom is knowing what to care about. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every problem is yours to solve. Not every opinion is worth considering. Discernment is the ability to distinguish what matters from what does not. This is not indifference. It is selectivity. You have limited energy and limited time. Spending it wisely means choosing carefully where you look and what you allow to occupy your mind. The Stoics saw wisdom as a peaceful practice. It is not about knowing more. It is about knowing what is worth knowing. It is releasing the need to have an opinion on everything, to fix everything, to engage with everything. Some things you can let pass. That selectivity protects your peace and focuses your effort where it can actually make a difference. Justice is treating others with fairness. Humans are social by nature. You are not isolated. You live among others, depend on others, and are depended on in turn. Justice recognizes this interconnection and asks you to treat people as you would want to be treated, not because it benefits you, but because it is right, because it aligns with the nature of being human. Peace in relationships comes from fairness, honesty, and kindness. When you act justly, you do not carry the weight of guilt or dishonesty. You meet others without pretense. The Stoics believed that treating people well is not a burden. It is part of living according to your nature. Gentleness toward others creates gentleness within yourself. Fairness outward brings calm inward. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear. It is not reserved for dramatic moments. It appears in small daily choices. Speaking honestly when it would be easier to stay quiet. Admitting a mistake. Trying something new. Facing difficulty instead of avoiding it. These are acts of courage, even when no one notices. The Stoics valued quiet strength, the kind that does not announce itself, but shows up consistently. Courage does not mean you are not afraid. It means fear does not make your decisions for you. You feel it, acknowledge it, and move forward anyway. This builds a different kind of confidence. Not the confidence that nothing bad will happen, but the confidence that you can handle what comes. Temperance is balance. It is the middle path between excess and deprivation. Not too much, not too little. Not harsh self-denial, but thoughtful moderation. Temperance is eating when hungry, and stopping when satisfied. It is working hard, but also resting. It is engaging with pleasure without being controlled by it. The concept of enough lives here. Enough food, enough comfort, enough stimulation. Temperance does not make life joyless. It makes life sustainable. It prevents the exhaustion that comes from constantly wanting more or pushing too hard. The Stoics saw balance as a form of harmony. When you are in balance, less effort is required. You are not fighting yourself or overextending. You are simply aligned. We are all part of one whole. The Stoics were cosmopolitans. They believed that all humans belong to a single community, regardless of borders, backgrounds, or differences. You are connected to others not by choice, but by nature. What affects one part affects the whole. Your well-being is tied to the well-being of others. This recognition dissolves loneliness. You are not separate. You are woven into a larger fabric. When you act with this awareness, your choices change. Kindness is not optional. It is a recognition of shared existence. Helping another is helping the whole, which includes you. Interconnection is not a philosophy to study. It is a reality to live from. When you see yourself as part of one whole, isolation fades. You belong. What happens to you is natural. Nothing that occurs is unnatural. The universe is unfolding according to laws and patterns. What arrives in your life, no matter how unexpected or unwanted, is part of that unfolding. This does not mean everything is good or fair. It means everything that happens is possible within the structure of reality. You belong to this moment, exactly as it is, not because it is pleasant, but because it is real. The Stoics found peace in this. They were not fighting against nature. They were participating in it. What happens to you is not an exception or a mistake. It is the universe doing what the universe does. You are included in that, not excluded from it. Amor fati means love your fate. Nietzsche gave this phrase to a Stoic idea. It is not just accepting what happens. It is loving what happens, not because you would have chosen it, but because it is yours. It is the life you have been given, the circumstances you are in, the challenges that have arrived. Resisting them changes nothing. Loving them transforms everything. This is not about pretending pain is pleasure. It is about embracing your life fully, without reservation. Everything that has happened has led you here. Everything you have faced has shaped you. To reject any of it is to reject part of yourself. Amor fati is radical acceptance. It is saying yes to your existence, all of it, and finding freedom in that complete embrace. Every moment is perfect for practice. You do not need ideal conditions to grow. Life as it is offers everything required. Difficult people teach patience. Uncertainty teaches adaptability. Loss teaches acceptance. Challenges teach resilience. You do not need a retreat, a perfect environment, or more time. You need only to recognize that this moment, exactly as it is enough. The Stoics believed that the present is always the right place for practice. Here and now is not lacking. It is complete. You do not wait for better circumstances to begin. You begin now with what is in front of you. This removes the excuse of delay. Practice is not saved for later. It is woven into the texture of ordinary life. Difficulties reveal character. Heat reveals the true nature of metal. Pressure reveals flaws in stone. Challenges reveal what you are made of. This is not a test imposed from outside. It is simply what happens when anything is stressed. You discover your strength not by imagining how you would act, but by acting under real pressure. The Stoics saw difficulties as clarifiers. They strip away pretense and show what remains. This can be uncomfortable, but it is useful. You cannot improve what you do not see. Challenges bring hidden weaknesses into the light, where they can be addressed. They also reveal unexpected strengths. What you thought would break you often does not. Strength is discovered through difficulty, not created in comfort. You contain multitudes of past wisdom. You are not isolated in time. You carry the experience of ancestors, teachers, and everyone who contributed to your existence. Their knowledge is embedded in you, sometimes consciously, often not. The language you speak, the ideas you hold, the skills you have, all were passed forward through generations. You are not alone in this moment. You are carried by a lineage. This can be comforting. The struggles you face have been faced before. The questions you ask have been asked before. Wisdom has accumulated over time, and you have access to it. The Stoics themselves are part of that lineage. Their thoughts, written centuries ago, still speak. You are connected to that long conversation. Nature wastes nothing. In natural systems, everything is recycled. Leaves fall and become soil. Soil nourishes new growth. Death feeds life. Nothing is discarded. Everything is transformed and reused. Your struggles follow this pattern. Pain that seems pointless can become the material for growth. Failure can teach what success never could. The Stoics saw this composting process in their own lives. What felt like waste was often preparation. What seemed like loss was often clearing space. Nature does not move in straight lines. It cycles. Your struggles serve a purpose, even when you cannot see it yet. They are not interruptions. They are part of the process that shapes you. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. Impermanence is not a flaw in the design. It is the design. Everything that arises will pass. Joy fades, sorrow fades, circumstances shift, people change. This can feel unsettling if you expect permanence. It can feel like relief when you accept that nothing lasts. The Stoics found peace in impermanence. It means that difficult times will end. It also means that good times will end, which teaches you to appreciate them while they are here. Both joy and sorrow are temporary. This levels the emotional landscape. You do not cling desperately to pleasure or despair in pain. You recognize both as passing weather. This too shall pass is not resignation. It is realism, and it brings calm. Clinging creates suffering. Holding tightly to anything that wants to leave creates pain. Relationships end. Youth fades. Certainty dissolves. Trying to prevent these natural changes is like trying to stop the tide. The effort exhausts you, and the tide continues anyway. The suffering is not in the loss itself. It is in the refusal to let go. An open palm and a closed fist hold the same hand. One allows flow, the other creates tension. The Stoics practiced releasing grip, not because they did not care, but because they understood that control is an illusion. You can appreciate without possessing. You can love without clinging. Flow and release are not signs of weakness. They are signs of understanding how reality works. You are nature becoming aware of itself. You are not separate from the natural world. You are part of it. The same atoms that form stars form you. The same forces that shape galaxies shape your body. Consciousness is not outside nature. It is nature looking at itself. You are the cosmos contemplating the cosmos. This realization brings a profound sense of belonging. You are not an accident or an outsider. You are an expression of the same process that created everything else. There is no separation. The boundary between you and the universe is conceptual, not real. Recognizing this dissolves the loneliness of imagined isolation. You are home, always, because you are made of the same substance as home. Simplicity is sophisticated. Stripping away excess reveals what is essential. A simple life is not a deprived life. It is a clear life. When you remove what is unnecessary, what remains is more visible and more valuable. The Stoics practiced simplicity because it reduced distraction. Fewer possessions meant fewer concerns. Fewer commitments meant more focus. Fewer desires meant more peace. Simplicity is not about having less for the sake of less. It is about having enough and recognizing that enough is sufficient. Complexity often hides confusion. Simplicity reveals clarity. What seems sophisticated is often just cluttered. What seems simple is often deeply considered. Peace lives in the clear, simple core of things, not in the layers piled on top. Needs are few, wants are endless. Seneca wrote that it is not the person who has little who is poor, but the person who craves more. Needs are basic and limited. Food, water, shelter, safety, connection. These can be met. Wants, however, have no natural limit. There is always more to desire, more comfort, more recognition, more possessions. Satisfied with little is a radical position in a culture that encourages constant wanting. The Stoics saw this as freedom. When you are content with enough, You are no longer controlled by the need for more. You can appreciate what you have instead of chasing what you lack. This does not mean you stop growing or improving. It means you stop defining yourself by deficiency. You shift from lacking to having, and that shift is internal, not circumstantial. The present wants nothing more. This moment is not asking you to fix it, improve it, or make it different. It simply is. It is complete in itself. Not lacking, not waiting. It contains exactly what it contains, and that is enough. The sense of insufficiency comes from comparison, from thinking the present should be something other than what it is. When you stop comparing this moment to an imagined better moment, you notice its fullness. Right here, right now, there is breath, awareness, presence. That is not nothing. That is everything available. The Stoics return to this again and again. The present is not a stepping stone to somewhere better. It is where life is actually happening. Recognizing its completeness brings immediate peace. Your nature is to grow. Growth is not forced. It is organic. A seed does not strain to become a tree. It simply follows its nature. You are the same. Progression is natural, but it does not require harsh self-judgment or relentless pushing. You are already unfolding, already changing, already becoming. The Stoics believed in development, but gentle development. Not because you are broken, but because you are alive. Living things grow. This is not something you have to make happen through willpower alone. It happens because it is your nature. You participate by paying attention, by practicing, by showing up. But you are not forcing growth. You are allowing it. There is a difference, and it matters. Rest is part of nature's rhythm. Winter comes before spring. Fields lie fallow before they are planted again. Rest is not laziness or failure. It is part of the cycle that makes growth possible. Without rest, there is only depletion. The Stoics understood this. They valued effort, but they also valued balance. You have permission to be still, to stop striving for a moment, to let your body and mind recover. Cycles are natural. Pushing without pause breaks the rhythm. Honoring rest means honoring the way nature actually works. Activity and stillness alternate. Both are necessary. Both are valuable. Rest is not wasted time. It is time well spent preparing for what comes next. Death is natural, not evil. Everything that lives will die. This is not a punishment or a tragedy. It is simply the way life is structured. Birth and death are part of the same cycle. Fearing death is fearing nature itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about mortality, reminding himself that death is a return to the elements. Dust to dust. Nothing is lost. Everything is transformed. The Stoics did not see death as an enemy. They saw it as a natural conclusion. This did not make them indifferent to life. It made them present. When you recognize that time is limited, you pay closer attention to how you spend it. Death is not evil. It is the boundary that makes life meaningful. Peace comes not from denying mortality, but from accepting it as part of the design. Every day could be your last. Memento mori, remember you will die, was a daily practice for the Stoics. This was not meant to create fear, It was meant to create clarity. If today were your last day, would you waste it on trivial concerns? Would you hold grudges? Would you delay kindness? Mortality brings urgency without anxiety. It sharpens your focus. It helps you distinguish what matters from what does not. The reminder is gentle but firm. Time is limited. Use it well, not frantically, but thoughtfully. Appreciation deepens when you recognize that nothing lasts forever. This day, this moment, this breath, they are not guaranteed. Recognizing that makes them precious. Philosophy is one thing. Living is another. The Stoics knew this, so they developed daily practices, small rituals that turned ideas into habits, morning reflections, evening reviews, moments of gratitude, ways of speaking and listening. These were not rules to follow perfectly. They were tools to use gently. Practical wisdom for ordinary days. Let your breathing slow as we explore how the Stoics actually lived these truths. Morning meditation prepares the day. Marcus Aurelius began each day reminding himself of what he might encounter: difficult people, unexpected challenges, frustrations. He did this not to worry, but to prepare mentally. When you anticipate challenges calmly, they do not catch you off guard. You have already considered how you want to respond. This is not pessimism. It is realistic preparation. The day will bring what it brings. Meeting it with awareness rather than surprise allows you to act from intention instead of reaction. Setting a gentle intention each morning creates a foundation. Not a rigid plan, but a direction. How do you want to show up today? What matters most? A few moments of quiet reflection can shape the hours that follow. Evening reflection reviews with kindness. Seneca practiced a nightly examination. He reviewed his day, asking what he did well and what he could improve. Crucially, he did this without harsh judgment. The goal was learning, not self-punishment. When you reflect on your actions, you see patterns. You notice where you acted according to your values and where you did not. This gentle accounting builds self-awareness. It is not about perfection. It is about noticing and adjusting. You cannot improve what you do not see. Evening reflection makes visible the small choices that shape your character. With that visibility comes the opportunity to choose differently tomorrow. The practice is compassionate. You are not condemning yourself, you are simply paying attention. Negative visualization builds appreciation. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining loss before it occurs, not to torture themselves, but to prepare emotionally and to recognize what they currently have. If you imagine losing your health, you appreciate your body more. If you imagine losing relationships, you treat people with more care. The practice is not pessimistic. It is realistic. Everything you have can be lost. Recognizing this does not create fear. It creates gratitude. You stop taking things for granted. You notice what is already here, already given. Negative visualization is not about expecting the worst. It is about seeing clearly that the present is not permanent, and that clarity brings both preparation and appreciation for what exists now. Voluntary discomfort trains resilience. The Stoics occasionally practiced small forms of discomfort: going without a meal, sleeping on the floor, taking a cold bath. These were not acts of suffering, but acts of training. The goal was to learn that discomfort is tolerable, that you can handle more than you think, that external conditions do not control your peace. This builds quiet strength. When actual difficulty arrives, you have already practiced being uncomfortable. You know it does not destroy you. These practices are not about deprivation. They are about stretching your capacity gently, discovering that your baseline resilience is higher than you assumed. You are tougher than circumstance makes you believe, and small practices remind you of that. Speak little, listen much. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, observed that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and should use them in that proportion. Listening is often more valuable than speaking. When you listen, you learn. When you speak, you only repeat what you already know. Silence creates space for understanding. Speaking less also reduces regret. Many problems come from words spoken hastily. Silence as wisdom is not about withholding truth. It is about choosing carefully when and how to speak. There is rest in not speaking, in simply being present without needing to fill space with words. The Stoics valued thoughtful speech over constant commentary, quality over quantity, precision over volume. Your word should be reliable. Integrity means your words and actions align. When you say something, you mean it. When you promise something, you follow through. This creates internal peace because you are not carrying the weight of broken commitments or dishonest statements. Trust in yourself comes from keeping your word, even in small things. When your actions match your words, you do not have to remember what you said to whom. You simply tell the truth. This simplifies life considerably. The Stoics saw integrity as foundational. It is not just about morality. It is about the practical peace that comes from consistency. You become someone you can rely on, and that internal trust is priceless. Delay gratification gently. Patience is a form of practice. The ability to wait, to let things develop naturally, to resist the impulse for immediate satisfaction. This is not harsh self-denial. It is discernment. Some pleasures are worth waiting for. Some impulses pass if you do not immediately act on them. Patience with yourself creates spaciousness. You do not have to react instantly. You can consider. You can choose. The future self is not a different person. It is you, later. Treating that version of yourself as a friend means sometimes choosing what will benefit them, even if it requires restraint now. This is not about perfection. It is about balance between present and future, between impulse and consideration. Do each task as if it were your last. Full attention is a gift you give to whatever you are doing, not because it is always interesting, but because it is happening now. When you are washing dishes, you are washing dishes. When you are working, you are working. Divided attention scatters energy and reduces quality. Presence improves everything. The Stoics valued quality over speed. Rushing through tasks does not save time if you have to redo them. Doing something fully, with care, even if it is small, builds a different relationship with your own actions. You are not just passing time, you are living it. Each moment becomes meaningful not because of what you are doing, but because of how you are doing it. You need very little to be happy. Epictetus and the Stoics agreed on this. Happiness does not require wealth, fame, or constant pleasure. It requires basic needs met, meaningful relationships, and inner peace. Most of what you think you need is actually want disguised as need. Stripping away that confusion reveals how simple contentment can be. Sufficiency is already here. You have what you need in this moment. You are alive, aware, capable of thought and feeling. That is not nothing. Recognizing enough does not mean you stop growing or improving. It means you stop defining yourself by what you lack. You shift from chasing to appreciating, and that shift changes everything. Gratitude is the antidote to want. When you focus on what is missing, you feel poor regardless of what you have. When you focus on what is present, you feel rich regardless of what you lack. Gratitude is not pretending everything is perfect. It is seeing clearly what has been given. The fact that you are alive, that you can perceive this moment, that somewhere, somehow, you have support. Gratitude shifts attention from absence to presence, from lacking to having. This does not solve practical problems, but it does solve the internal sense of deficiency that often weighs heavier than the problems themselves. Fullness is recognized, not created. It is already here. Gratitude simply points it out. Compare yourself to no one. Your path is yours alone. No one else has lived your life, faced your challenges, or started from your circumstances. Comparing yourself to others is comparing incompatible data. What looks like their success may hide struggles you do not see. What looks like your failure may be progress they have not reached. External measures mislead because they ignore context. The Stoics used an internal standard. Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I acting according to my values? Those are the only fair comparisons. You are not running someone else's race. You are running yours. Releasing comparison releases a tremendous burden. You can focus on your own development without distraction. Fame and status are empty. Crowds forget quickly. Today's celebrity is tomorrow's footnote. Chasing recognition is chasing vapor. It dissipates the moment you grasp it. Even when achieved, fame does not bring lasting peace because it depends entirely on the opinions of others. Those opinions shift. They are fickle and unpredictable. Real worth is internal. It is the quality of your character, the integrity of your actions, the care you show to others. These are not measured by applause. They exist whether anyone notices or not. The Stoics saw clearly that pursuing fame is pursuing something you do not control. It is exhausting and ultimately unsatisfying. Peace comes from valuing what is real and permanent. Wealth beyond money exists. Time is wealth. Attention is wealth. Peace is wealth. Relationships are wealth. These are forms of abundance that cannot be purchased. You can be financially rich and time poor. You can have status and no peace. True richness is measured by things that matter. How you spend your hours, what occupies your thoughts, the quality of your connections. The Stoics recognized true abundance in simple things. A quiet morning, a good conversation, a moment of clarity. These cost nothing, yet they are priceless. When you redefine wealth this way, you discover you are already rich. Not in money, but in what money cannot buy. Anger is temporary madness. Seneca wrote extensively about anger. He saw it as a brief insanity, where reason is overridden by emotion. In anger, you say and do things you later regret. The feeling is intense, but temporary. If you can pause before reacting, the intensity fades. The situation remains, but your response can be measured instead of explosive. The pause is the tool. Between the trigger and the reaction, there is a moment. In that moment, you can breathe. You can choose. Anger wants immediacy. It demands action now. Wisdom asks for patience. Wait until the heat passes, then respond from clarity. This does not suppress anger. It allows it to cool naturally, so that what follows is intentional, not impulsive. Forgiveness frees the forgiver. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Resentment weighs on you, not them. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior. It is about releasing the burden you carry. You are not excusing what happened. You are freeing yourself from the ongoing harm of carrying it. The burden is set down for your sake, not theirs. This does not require reconciliation or even communication. It is an internal release. The Stoics understood that you cannot control whether others apologize or change. You can control whether you continue to hold the weight of old wrongs. Forgiveness is a gift you give your days of yourself. Judge actions, not people. Behavior can be criticized without condemning the person. Someone can act poorly without being a bad person. This distinction matters because it allows growth. If you label someone as bad, you close the door on change. If you address the behavior, the door stays open. Everyone is learning. Everyone makes mistakes. The Stoics practiced this compassionate view not because people do not cause harm, but because understanding reduces judgment. When you see actions as separate from identity, you can hold people accountable without dehumanizing them. This creates space for correction, for growth, and for continued relationship where appropriate. Everyone does best with what they know. Most harm comes from ignorance, not malice. People act from misunderstanding, from limited perspective, from their own unexamined patterns. If they knew better, they would often do better. This does not excuse harm, but it explains it. Understanding softens judgment. When you see that people are doing the best they can with their current awareness, patience becomes easier. You do not take their actions as personally. You recognize them as products of what they know, how they were taught, and what they have not yet seen. This perspective does not make you passive. It makes you compassionate, even as you address harmful behavior. Your attention is your most precious resource. Where attention goes, life flows. What you focus on grows. If you give attention to worry, worry expands. If you give attention to gratitude, gratitude expands. Your awareness is limited. You cannot attend to everything. Choosing where to direct it is choosing what your inner life will contain. Guarding awareness is not about control. It is about intentionality. Are you giving attention to what truly matters, or are you letting it be pulled by urgency, noise, and distraction? The Stoics knew that attention is power. Protect it. Use it wisely. Where you look determines what you see, and what you see shapes who you become. Distraction is a choice. The world offers constant interruption, but responding to every interruption is optional. You can take back control of your focus, one thing at a time, fully. Not multitasking, but single-tasking. Not scattered, but concentrated. Deep presence is always available. It requires only that you say no to everything else in the moment. This is difficult because the pull is strong. Notifications, thoughts, impulses all compete for attention. But each time you return to what you intended to focus on, you strengthen that capacity. Distraction feels inevitable, but it is not. It is a habit that can be changed. Busyness is not virtue. Seneca wrote that life is long if you know how to use it, but people waste it in constant activity that leads nowhere. Being busy feels productive. It feels important. But much busyness is just motion without direction, activity without meaning. Quality of time matters more than quantity. An hour spent with full attention is worth more than 3 hours spent distracted. The Stoics valued intentional living over frantic doing. You have permission to be still, to do less, to focus on what truly matters and let the rest go. Busyness often masks avoidance. When you stop, you have to face what you have been avoiding. That is uncomfortable, but it is also where real life begins. Silence speaks loudly. There are moments when not speaking is wiser than speaking, when restraint communicates more than words. Silence can be agreement, disagreement, compassion, or strength. It is not always passivity. Sometimes it is the most powerful response. Wisdom knows when to speak and when to refrain. The Stoics valued this discernment. Not every provocation deserves a response. Not every argument is worth entering. Peaceful quiet can be a choice, not a failure. In silence, you conserve energy, avoid unnecessary conflict, and give yourself time to think before responding. That time is often where wisdom lives. You don't need to have an opinion. Epictetus taught that you can withhold judgment. When you do not know enough, you can simply say, "I don't know." This is wisdom, not weakness. The pressure to have an opinion on everything is cultural, not natural. You cannot possibly know enough about everything to form a valid opinion. Admitting this brings rest. You do not have to perform certainty. You do not have to fake knowledge. "I don't know" is often the most honest answer available. Resting in uncertainty is uncomfortable at first, but it is also deeply freeing. You are not required to have a position on every issue. Some things you can let remain unknown. Most things don't require your response. Events happen constantly. Problems arise. People make statements. Not all of them need your engagement. Some things you can let pass. Not everything needs your comment, your action, or your attention. This is not indifference. It is selectivity. Conserving energy means choosing where to spend it. If you respond to everything, you will exhaust yourself addressing things that do not truly matter. Letting events pass is a skill. It requires confidence that you do not have to fix, respond to, or engage with everything. Some things resolve themselves. Some things are not your concern. Recognizing this boundary protects your peace. Your time is limited. Spend it wisely. Mortality is the best teacher of priorities. When you recognize that time will run out, you become more careful about how you use it. The Stoics use death as a clarifying force, not to create fear, but to create focus. Conscious choices replace unconscious habits. There is no time for trivial concerns when you remember that life is finite. This does not mean you never relax or enjoy simple pleasures. It means you stop wasting time on things that do not align with what you value. You stop letting others dictate how you spend your hours. You become the author of your own time, which is the closest thing to being the author of your own life. Say no to protect your peace. Boundaries are self-care. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your energy and overextend yourself. Polite refusal is a necessary skill. You do not owe everyone your time, your agreement, or your participation. Saying no guards your inner calm. This does not make you selfish. It makes you sustainable. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Protecting your peace allows you to show up fully where you choose to engage. The Stoics valued wise allocation of energy. Saying yes to what matters often requires saying no to what does not. That no is not a rejection. It is a choice in favor of something else. Solitude restores. Time alone is necessary. Not loneliness, but chosen quiet. In solitude, you are not performing for anyone. You are not managing impressions or responding to demands. You are simply with yourself. This is where you recharge, where clarity returns, where you remember who you are beneath the roles you play. The Stoics valued solitude not as escape, but as return. You return to your own company. You listen to your own thoughts without external noise. Recharging in silence allows you to engage more fully when you return to others. Solitude is not wasted time. It is necessary time. It is the pause between breaths. Nature heals the spirit. Walking as meditation. Trees and sky as teachers. There is something restorative about being outside. The scale shifts. Your problems feel smaller against the backdrop of forests, mountains, and open sky. Nature does not care about your worries. It continues its patterns regardless. That indifference is somehow comforting. The Stoics walked in nature regularly. They noticed that being grounded in earth, surrounded by growing things, brought perspective. You are part of this. You are made of the same elements. Time spent in nature is time spent remembering your place in the larger system. It is humbling and calming at once. Your body is a vessel to care for. Not obsession, but maintenance. Gentle stewardship. Your body allows you to experience life. Treating it well is not vanity. It is respect for the instrument through which you engage with the world. This does not mean perfection. It means basic care, rest, movement, nourishment, attention to signals. The Stoics saw the body as temporary but valuable. It will age and eventually fail, but while it functions, care for it. Not because appearance matters, but because how you feel physically affects how you think and act. Respecting your physical form is part of living according to nature. Sleep is not weakness. Rest is necessity. Natural rhythm honored. The pressure to sleep less, to always be productive, ignores biology. Your body and mind need sleep. This is not optional. It is how you repair, consolidate memory, and restore energy. Treating sleep as weakness is treating a biological requirement as a failure. You have permission to close your eyes, to let the day end, to stop working, stop thinking, stop trying. Sleep is not giving up. It is preparing. It is part of the cycle that makes wakefulness possible. The Stoics knew that rest is not opposed to effort. It is what makes effort sustainable. Eat simply. Live simply. Food without excess. Nourishment, not entertainment. The Stoics ate to live, rather than lived to eat. This does not mean joyless eating. It means eating with awareness. Simple food is often enough. Clarity comes when you are not constantly seeking stimulation through taste. Living simply extends beyond food. It is a general approach, clear, uncomplicated, focused on what is essential. Simplicity is not deprivation. It is abundance that has been edited down to what truly matters. In simplicity, you see more clearly. You feel more fully. You are less distracted by excess and more present with what is. Now, we drift deeper into the paradoxes, the contradictions that are not really contradictions. The Stoics loved these puzzles because they revealed truth that logic alone could not reach. You are both small and vast. Control and surrender are partners. Strength needs softness. These are not riddles to solve. They are invitations to rest in mystery. Let your mind soften as we enter this territory where opposites embrace. You are both small and vast. From one perspective, you are insignificant. A tiny speck on a small planet in an ordinary solar system, in a galaxy among billions. From another perspective, you contain awareness. You can contemplate the universe. You carry within you the capacity for thought, love, and understanding. You are simultaneously nothing and everything. The cosmic perspective is not meant to diminish you. It is meant to free you. You are not the center, and that is okay. You are part of something unimaginably large. That is enough. The Stoics found comfort in both views. Smallness removes pressure. Vastness reminds you of your connection to everything. Both are true at once, and both bring peace. The universe is indifferent, and that's okay. There is no cosmic scorekeeper, no grand plan that cares whether you succeed or fail. The universe operates according to natural laws that apply equally to everyone. This is not cruel, it is neutral. No one is punished. No one is rewarded by fate itself. What happens, happens according to causes, not cosmic judgment. This neutrality is freeing. You are not disfavored when difficulty arrives. You are not favored when things go well. You are simply part of a system that continues regardless of individual outcomes. The Stoics found peace in this. It removes the need to understand why you deserve certain experiences. You do not. No one does. Things simply unfold. You are not the center, yet you matter. Humility and dignity together. You are not the most important being in existence. The universe does not revolve around your concerns, yet your life has value. Your actions have effects. You contribute to the whole simply by being part of it. This is the balance the Stoics practiced. Not thinking too highly of yourself, but also not dismissing your significance. You are part of the whole, and the whole includes you. Your contribution may be small, but it is real. You matter without being the center. This paradox is easier to live than to explain. You act with care and effort, knowing that the outcome is not entirely up to you. You participate fully, without needing to be the star. Control and surrender are not opposites. You control your effort. You surrender the outcome. These are not contradictory. They are complementary. You work with full commitment, then you release attachment to how it turns out. This is both and thinking rather than either or. You are not passive. You are not controlling. You are dancing with life. The Stoics practiced this balance daily. They acted vigorously on what they could influence. They accepted calmly what they could not. This is not giving up. It is engaging wisely. You do your part fully, then you let go. The result will be what it will be. Your job is the effort. The outcome is life's job. Strength and softness coexist. Flexible strength. Bamboo bends in the wind and does not break. Rigidity snaps under pressure. Softness is not weakness. It is resilience through yielding. The Stoics knew that harshness toward yourself or others does not create lasting change. It creates resistance. Gentleness is a form of strength. It takes more courage to be kind than to be cruel. It takes more discipline to be patient than to be reactive. Strength does not mean hardness. It means capacity. Capacity to hold difficulty without being broken by it. Capacity to remain steady while being flexible. The strong person is not the rigid person. The strong person is the one who bends and returns. You are already whole, nothing to fix or complete. Wholeness beneath conditions. You are not a project waiting to be finished. You are not broken. You are not half a person requiring completion. This does not mean there is no growth. It means you start from sufficiency, not deficiency. Growth is not about fixing yourself. It is about unfolding what is already there. The Stoics saw this clearly. You already possess everything required for peace, not in the future when conditions change. Now, as you are. Recognizing this completeness changes everything. You stop seeking validation outside yourself. You stop believing you need more before you can be at peace. Rest comes from recognizing wholeness, not from achieving it. Seeking peace prevents peace. The paradox of pursuit. The harder you chase peace, the further it recedes. Peace is not something you get. It is something you recognize. It is already here, underneath the striving. When you stop seeking it, you discover it was never lost. This is one of the deepest Stoic insights. Peace is not found. It is revealed when you stop obscuring it. The act of seeking creates agitation. You are always looking ahead to when you will have it, which means you miss that you already do. Peace is now, or it is nowhere. Not as a goal, but as a recognition. Already here, already available. You do not have to do anything more. You simply have to stop doing the things that hide it. The obstacle becomes the path. This teaching appears twice because it works at different levels. At a practical level, resistance shapes you. At a deeper level, the obstacle is not separate from the path. It is the path. What you think is blocking you is actually guiding you. What you think is a problem is actually the teacher you need most. No wasted experiences. Everything is useful, even suffering, even failure, especially failure. The Stoics believed that every difficulty contained a lesson, not as punishment, but as structure. Life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. The obstacle is where you grow. Turning resistance into teacher requires only a shift in perspective. What you cannot avoid, use. Loss opens space for gain. An empty cup can be filled. A full one cannot. When you lose something, space is created. Grief and possibility exist together. This is not minimizing loss. It is recognizing that endings are also openings. What you held tightly prevented you from receiving something new. Cycles continue. Nothing stops. Life does not pause for your loss. It keeps moving, and in that movement, new things arrive. The Stoics saw this in nature. Trees lose leaves every fall. The loss is necessary for new growth. You are part of that same cycle. Loss is painful, but it is also part of ongoing transformation. Space created by loss is not empty. It is available. Knowing you know nothing is wisdom. Socrates said this. The Stoics agreed. The wisest person is the one who recognizes the limits of their knowledge. This is beginner's mind, open to learning, not clinging to certainty. When you think you know everything, you stop paying attention. When you admit you know very little, you become curious again. This is not false humility. It is accurate assessment. The universe is vast and complex. Your experience is limited. Your perspective is partial. Admitting this does not make you weak. It makes you open. Open to new information. Open to correction. Open to growth. Wisdom is not having all the answers. It is knowing which questions to ask. Certainty is often delusion. The more certain you are, the less you see. Certainty closes inquiry. It makes you defensive because you have invested in being right. Comfort with mystery is a mature position. Admitting uncertainty is honest. Maybe is often wiser than definitely. The Stoics practiced withholding judgment when they did not have enough information. They were comfortable saying, I do not know yet. This is not wishy-washy. It is precise. It refuses to pretend certainty where none exists. Life is ambiguous. Reality is complex. Embracing that complexity, instead of forcing false clarity, brings a different kind of peace. The peace of not needing to know everything. You cannot step in the same river twice. Epictetus said this. The Stoics absorbed it. The river is always flowing. It is never the same water. You are also always changing. Every moment, cells die and are replaced. Thoughts shift. Emotions pass. The you of this moment is not the you of the last moment. Everything is fresh if you look closely. Constant change means nothing is fixed. Not your problems, not your identity, not your circumstances. What seems permanent is actually moving. This is not destabilizing. It is liberating. If everything changes, then this difficult moment will change too. If you change, then you can become something new. The river flows. So do you. The only constant is change, impermanence everywhere. You cannot freeze anything in place, not youth, not health, not relationships, not certainty. Everything is in motion. The Stoics found peace here. If nothing lasts, then you can stop clinging. You can appreciate what is here now without demanding it stay forever. Relaxing grip does not mean not caring. It means holding lightly, enjoying without possessing, loving without clinging, flowing with what is rather than resisting constant change. This is not resignation. It is alignment with reality. Fighting change exhausts you. Accepting it allows you to move with it instead of against it. Death gives life meaning. If you lived forever, nothing would matter. Why do anything today? You have infinite tomorrows. Finitude creates urgency. It makes moments precious, not in a fearful way, but in a clarifying way. You do not have time to waste. You do not have time for things that do not matter. Death is not morbid. It is the boundary that gives life shape and value. The Stoics meditated on death not to be depressed, but to be focused, to remember that time is limited, to appreciate what is here now, instead of taking it for granted. When you remember you will die, you live differently, not frantically, but intentionally. Appreciation deepens because you know this will end. That knowing is a gift. Memento mori means, remember, you will die. This was a daily Stoic practice, not to create fear, but to create focus. The reminder is gentle, but firm. You are mortal. This life is finite. Recognizing this brings clarity. You stop postponing. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. Living fully now does not mean recklessly. It means presently, with awareness that this day is not guaranteed, that this moment matters because it is limited. The Stoics carried this thought lightly. It was not a burden. It was a reminder to pay attention, to live intentionally, to appreciate the ordinary miracle of being alive today. Every ending is a beginning. Cycles, not lines. Continuous renewal. When something ends, something else starts. This is the structure of reality. Birth and death are not opposites. They are phases in a cycle. Nothing truly ends. It transforms. The atoms that form you will form something else. The energy you carry will be released and repurposed. The Stoics saw no final endings, only transitions. This brings comfort in loss. What seems like an ending is actually continuation in a different form. Grief is real, but it is not the whole story. Life continues. Energy transforms. New things begin even as old things end. This is not minimizing loss. It is recognizing that nothing is ever truly lost. It changes form. You are both actor and audience. You are living your life and watching yourself live it. This dual awareness is strange. You are immersed in experience and also observing it. Both perspectives are real. You are the character in the story and the narrator. This is consciousness observing itself. The Stoics practiced this observer stance, not to disconnect, but to gain perspective. When you are only the actor, you are caught in drama. When you are also the audience, you see patterns. You notice reactions. You have space to choose differently. This does not make you less engaged. It makes you more aware. You participate fully, while also noticing your participation. The self is both real and illusory. Identity is a construct and an experience. You feel like a solid, continuous self. Yet, when you look closely, the self is made of changing parts. Thoughts, sensations, memories, all shifting. Where is the fixed you in all of that? Who is watching these thoughts? This is the mystery at the center of existence. The Stoics did not solve this paradox. They lived with it. The self is real enough for practical purposes. You have responsibilities. You make choices. Yet the self is also less solid than it appears. This recognition brings lightness. If the self is not as fixed as you thought, then identity is more flexible. You are not trapped by who you have been. You can change. Being is enough. You do not need to prove anything. Your existence is sufficient. You do not have to justify your place here. You do not have to earn your right to be. You simply are. This is the deepest rest, not in achieving, but in being, not in doing more, but in recognizing that existing is already complete. The Stoics saw this as foundational. You are not here to perform. You are here to be. Everything else is extra. When you rest in simple being, the pressure dissolves. You are enough, exactly as you are right now. This does not stop growth. It stops the frantic sense that you are not okay unless you become something more. You are already okay. Being is enough. Effort and ease dance together. Wu Wei, the Taoist concept, appears in Western thought too. Trying without forcing, acting without straining. The Stoics valued effort, but not harsh effort, not grinding yourself down. Natural action flows. It does not fight itself. You work hard, but from relaxation, not tension. This is difficult to explain, but easy to feel when you find it. The athlete in the zone, the writer in flow, the musician who has practiced so much. The music plays itself. Effort and ease together. You are trying, but it does not feel like effort. This is mastery. This is alignment. The Stoics practiced finding this balance where action feels natural instead of forced. You contain opposites, light and shadow, kindness and anger, courage and fear. All of these are you. You are not one-dimensional. You are complex. The mistake is thinking you should be only one thing. Only good, only strong, only happy. That is not realistic. You contain everything. Integration, not perfection. The goal is not to eliminate parts of yourself. It is to recognize and work with all of them. Both are you. Shadow is not bad. It is simply less visible. Accepting your full range of experience brings wholeness. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be honest about what you contain. Perfection is accepting imperfection. The paradox of acceptance. When you accept that you are flawed, you become complete, not because flaws are good, but because denying them creates split. Acceptance brings integration. You are imperfect, and that is okay. That is human. Flaws are not bugs. They are features. They are part of the design. You are complete as you are. not despite imperfections, but including them. This does not mean you stop growing. It means you grow from a place of wholeness, not from a place of brokenness. The Stoics did not expect perfection from themselves or others. They expected honest effort and compassionate self-awareness. That is enough. The journey is the destination. Process over goal. Every step is complete in itself. You are not waiting to arrive somewhere better. You are already here. The present moment is not a stepping stone. It is the place where life is happening. Goals are useful for direction, but they are not where value lives. Value is in the doing, not the having. Each step complete, each breath sufficient. You are always arriving because you are always here. The Stoics knew this. They valued progress, but they did not postpone peace until progress was complete. Peace is now. Growth is now. Life is now. The destination is not later. The destination is here, in the act of walking itself. Now is eternal. Only now exists. The past is memory. The future is imagination. This moment is the only one that is real. It is always now. It has always been now. It will always be now. This is not a metaphor. It is a literal fact. All experience happens in the present. When you recognize this, the eternal nature of now becomes clear. You are not moving through time. You are resting in an eternal present that continuously renews itself. The Stoics lived in now, not because they ignored past or future, but because they recognized that now is where action, choice, and experience actually occur. This eternal moment is all there is, and it is enough. You are the universe experiencing itself. Carl Sagan said this, but Marcus Aurelius felt it. You are made of star material. The same forces that created galaxies created you. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are a part of it that has become conscious. The universe looks at itself through your eyes. There is no separation, no inside and outside, just one system, infinitely complex, examining itself through billions of perspectives. You are one of those perspectives, consciousness arising from matter, awareness emerging from atoms. This is profound belonging. You are not in the universe. You are of it, made from it, inseparable from it. Home, always. Stillness contains all movement. The eye of the hurricane. The calm center. Movement happens around stillness, not despite it. There is a part of you that does not move. Circumstance change. Emotions shift. Thoughts flow. But underneath, there is stillness. That still point is where peace lives. Rest within action. You can be engaged, active, responsive, and still carry an inner calm. The Stoics practiced finding this center, not by withdrawing from life, but by grounding themselves in something deeper than circumstance. That ground is always still, always calm, always available. You are not only the storm, you are also the stillness the storm moves around. We have traveled far tonight, through control and surrender, through virtue and nature, through practice and paradox. Now it is time to return, to come back to the simplest truths, the ones that need no explanation, the ones your body already knows. Breath, rest, letting go. These final thoughts are not teachings. They are simply reminders of what is already here, already available, already enough. Breathe, just that. Breath is always here, always available. When everything else feels complicated, breath is simple. In, out. It requires nothing from you. Your body does it whether you pay attention or not. But when you do pay attention, breath becomes an anchor, a return point. Life flows through each breath. You are breathing now. That is enough. Nothing more is needed in this moment. Just breath. Simple, steady. Here. Let go. Release all holding. You have been carrying so much. Thoughts about tomorrow, worries about yesterday, tension in your shoulders, expectations, plans. All of it can be set down now, not forever, just for now. Trust in falling. When you let go, you do not collapse. You are caught. By this moment, by the bed beneath you, by breath, by the simple fact of being alive, let go. You are safe here. You are safe in this moment. Right here, right now. Nothing is wrong. Your body is resting. You are breathing. The room is quiet. There is no emergency, no problem requiring immediate action. This moment is calm. It holds you. You can release the vigilance. Nothing threatening is here. Just softness. Just rest. Just the gentle present. You are safe. Let that sink in. Safe right now, in this moment. The Stoics are still here. Their wisdom echoes through time. Marcus Aurelius wrote his thoughts 2,000 years ago, and they still speak. Epictetus taught his students, and we still learn from him. Seneca's letters still arrive, crossing centuries. You are not alone in your struggles. Others have walked this path before. Their voices remain. Ancient friends who faced what you face and found peace anyway. They are with you. Their wisdom lives on. Nothing is required of you right now. Your duties can wait. Your responsibilities will be there tomorrow. This moment is yours. You do not have to solve anything. You do not have to plan anything. You do not have to be anyone. Permission to simply rest, to let go of all roles, to be no one for a while. This moment is for you. Rest. Nothing is required. Sleep is a form of trust. You let go into darkness. You release consciousness. You trust that you will wake again. This is profound trust. Every night you practice it. Letting go of control. Surrendering to rest. Having faith that awakening will come. Sleep is natural surrender. Your body knows how. Your mind knows how. Trust the process. Let sleep come. Tomorrow will come on its own. You do not need to think about it. You do not need to prepare it. You do not need to control it. Tomorrow arrives whether you worry or not. The future takes care of itself. It always has. It always will. Right now, there is only this moment. Tomorrow is not here. Release it. Let it come when it comes. For now, just rest. You did enough today. Whatever you accomplished, it was sufficient. Whatever you did not finish, it can wait. You do not need to have done more. You showed up, You tried. That is enough. Give yourself permission to stop, to be satisfied, to recognize that you are not behind. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Rest now. You did enough. The world will be here when you wake. Nothing is lost in sleeping. The earth keeps turning. The sun will rise. Life continues. You can let go. When you wake, everything will still be here. Continuity is assured. You do not have to hold the world together through vigilance. It holds itself. Rest. The world will be fine without your attention for a few hours. Safe to let go now. All is well. Simple truth. Despite everything. Despite difficulty. Despite uncertainty. At the deepest level, all is well. You are here. You are breathing. You are alive. That is enough. Peace is underneath everything. Conditions may be difficult, but beneath conditions, there is an underlying okayness. All is well. Not perfect, not easy, but fundamentally at the core, all is well. Rest in that. Closing section. As we come to the end of this quiet journey, you might notice how the ancient words have settled. We have walked through 2,000 years of wisdom, touching briefly on ideas that philosophers carried through wars, losses, empires, and personal struggles. These Stoic truths were not written in comfort. They were discovered in difficulty and refined through living. Some thoughts landed, others drifted past. That is exactly as it should be. The wisdom we explored tonight is not meant to be memorized or mastered. It is meant to be absorbed, the way earth absorbs rain. Slowly, naturally, without effort. You do not need to remember every teaching. The ones that matter have already found their place in you. The Stoics offer something rare. Not complicated philosophy, not harsh discipline, just gentle observations about how life works, how suffering forms, how peace is found. Their wisdom is not a burden to carry. It is a companion to walk with, a quiet friend who reminds you that you are not the first to struggle, and you will not be the last. You are part of a long line of humans trying to live well. These truths are gentle. They do not demand. They simply point toward what you can control, toward acceptance, toward the present moment, toward the peace that is already here. You do not have to work to deserve that peace. You do not have to earn it. You simply have to notice it. And even that can wait. For now, there is only rest. If you have found something valuable in this quiet space, you are always welcome to return. A like or subscribe helps others find their way here too. One sleepy soul at a time, seeking rest and ancient wisdom. And if you happen to still be awake, there is another video waiting, ready to carry you further into the gentle night. But there is no pressure, no need to do anything. Just rest. Let the wisdom dissolve now. You do not need to hold on to any of it. The ideas have done their work. They have walked with you for a while. Now, let them fade. There is nothing to carry, nothing to remember. Nothing to apply tomorrow. Just let it all go. The Stoics would approve. They knew that peace is not in grasping. It is in releasing. Your body is fully relaxed now. Heavy. Sinking. Supported completely by what holds you. There is no tension left to release. Your mind is quiet. Thoughts slow. Words fade. The voice you are hearing grows distant, like something remembered rather than something present. Everything is softening. Everything is loosening. Everything is drifting away. You have permission to drift completely, to let go of awareness, to slip into sleep without holding back. There is no reason to stay awake, no reason to listen, no reason to think. Just let go. Trust the darkness. Trust your body. Trust that sleep will carry you where you need to go. Safe to close your eyes completely now. Safe to let everything dissolve. Safe to sleep. Sleep well and good night.